All right, guys, welcome to ChangeMakerTV. Every time I say how excited I am to have the guest on, and I totally am. Tracy's a really special person to me, and I'm so stoked to have you here, Tracy Minnoch on the ChangeMakerTV today. Thanks for being here, Trace.
Thanks, Judy. Thanks for asking me. We were just talking before that I've watched all the other interviews and I've been completely blown away and really inspired, really lifted up. And obviously you kick-started with one of my mentors, which is Emma. And, any conversation with Emma is life-changing and heartwarming. And so it's so good to see her, and I know her story. So it was awesome it's amazing what you're doing, that you're giving people a chance to share it on a bigger scale, because if you ever sit down and have a glass of wine and hear people's stories, you kind of go, wow, that's so amazing, and more people should know about this. So Emma's story for me has always resonated, and this morning I watched
Andy
this morning. Wow. And his change, rapid change. I can't say the same. I think mine's been a bit of a slow burn, but we all get there in our own time, and that was really inspiring as well. So I'm actually a little bit intimidated by these amazing interviews that you've had, and 45 minutes of talking. It seems so indulgent, and but anyway, I'm up for it.
Great,
and it's you.
Thank you. Thank you. Easy. I really appreciate the time, because I know how busy you are. Just a little bit about Tracy. Tracy's she comes from New Zealand. But don't hold that against her. The Aussie speaking, and she's been living in Asia, mostly in Malaysia, for over 15 years or something, or close to that. Yep. And her background has come from Les Mills' world, the fitness industry, and so that's how Tracy and I met, 12 years ago or so. So that's how long we've known each other. We've been through our ups and downs together. Oh my God, haven't we? But we've broken through, Right?
Well, I think ultimately what we always held on to each other was a huge amount of respect.
Yeah.
For our capabilities and our work ethic, and we always had that in common.
Yeah.
We didn't always see eye to eye, and that because we were going through change, and we were going through experiences, and some of those experiences on a personal level affect the way you interact with other people, right?
Totally.
And so I think we actually saw a lot of ourselves in each other, and sometimes we didn't always see the best self.
Exactly.
I would look at you and go, oh my gosh. And then 6 months later I'd be going, far out, that was me.
Yeah.
I was doing the same thing, and anyway, that's getting really heavy in minutes, isn't
it? So we've shared a lot together. I definitely would call Tracy as a really great friend, and I really have been inspired, by you, and in many ways, not just in the fitness industry, and not just as a entrepreneur or business person, but also as a mum. The ability that you've had to juggle everything that you've done, you have definitely been an inspiration, and I know you are to so many out there. And what you're doing now with your beautiful husband Dave Nuku in Malaysia, and now expanding into Singapore with these fire stations, small group training, it's just so inspiring to see. And what you guys are rolling out, it's really you are change makers in the industry, and so that is another reason, many reasons of why you really deserve to be on this, and so many of us have so much to learn from hearing your story and getting some little golden nuggets from you.
Okay. So where do I start?
So let's start with your journey, how a little bit, without going into every single bit, but just what's your journey been like from where you started to where you are now?
Yeah, I feel like I was really privileged to be at a time in the fitness industry in New Zealand where, I chose a path. Instead of dance, I chose physical education. And I was in Otago University doing PE with amazing other change makers, Emma Barry, Steve Renata, Alani, and some other, really fabulous people who, if you look them up today, they are still making incredible change.
Yeah.
So that was my breeding ground, and that was quite an intensive learning curve. First opportunity to teach group fitness was there, and sort of fast forward a little bit, spent a bit of time working in the Les Mills clubs, teaching personal training, and then starting to mentor other trainers around programs, Body Pump and Combat, and all the other programs that are out there today. And there's so much more out there now. Probably a defining moment for me to explore the opportunity outside of New Zealand was when I got a chance to train instructors, outside of New Zealand in places like South America, and other amazing places. And that was a real eye opener. It was like, hey, I think I have more to give. And I was quite young then. I was maybe 29 as well, and I consider that young because there's lots of things that happen between the ages of 29 and 35. And one of those things I sort of compartmentalize is I was super, super fit. I was very ambitious, ruthless to a point. I knew what I wanted and I knew how to get it, but I didn't always have the most subtle way to express it. And that might not have worked out well in my favour. In hindsight, I look at that and go, well, I could have, been a lot smarter about expressing my desires. But there were people that were in my corner and believed in me as well. So actually the person that gave me my biggest opportunity to move away from New Zealand and into Asia was actually Steve Renata. So he had a relationship with the team in Asia, Fitness First, and our communication started, and I ended up in Hong Kong 16 years ago. And got to fulfill my dreams and desires at that time, which is to train people outside of New Zealand and just do it on a daily basis. And man, did I go hard. It was training 6 days a week, and anybody that knows about Les Mills training, it's pretty physical. And obviously you get to a point in your life where you're going, okay, so if I ever wanted to have a child, how would this all work out, The physical training, 9 hours of body combat, like being pregnant, and you just kind of start feeling like that's not really a possibility. So to have that opportunity to train other people to become trainers, and that's kind of when I met you.
Yeah.
I was going through that challenge of, gosh, I really want to be a mum. Am I going to leave this a little bit too late? And I met yourself and other really amazing, talented people that I just knew, hey, you're going to rock this, you're going to be all over this. And then that started the next part of the journey, which was to start a family and try to do it all at the same time, of which I'd say mostly I did okay. I mean, I'm looking at reflecting on my daughter, who's now 12. She's doing great. I must have been okay at some point. Got the foundations right. And then I've got my son, who's completely different to her, and I'm still questioning, am I doing this okay?
Yeah.
But, just living each day and just trying to do your best. I think if I fast forward again, I had some amazing, incredible journeys and adventures with Les Mills. I'm so, so grateful. Probably the highlights for me are the learning opportunities, the things that I learned, the training sessions I went to, the people I was able to spend time with. Once again, Emma, Sasha. Kind of hoping that at some point you're interviewing her.
Oh yeah, she just popped into my head just recently, so I'll definitely be reaching out to her.
Incredible woman.
Yeah, amazing.
There is some incredible people there, and I just learned so much from them, and a lot of personal development stuff as well that was given. My career with Les Mills was cut short at a time where I did not expect it, and I think that's probably my greatest story, which was only less than 2 years ago. So being in a complete comfort zone, totally owning this, rocking it. Everyone's running around like minions. We're making it happen, and life's okay, it's wonderful. Well, actually, to be honest, I was starting to think, what comes next, Do I keep going? And I think that the idea that pops into your head of, is there something other than this?
Yeah.
Is the moment that something happens and it was completely out of my control. So my husband set up a company called Fire. It probably didn't reflect well on the way that, I was living in Asia and, our relationship and what have you, how that might reflect on the fact that every other fitness company in Asia that was licensed with Les Mills I had a relationship with, and how would they feel about the fact that my husband's setting up, I guess, a competitor. So, without going into too much detail, that relationship ended and I was left adrift emotionally, physically, mentally. If my life is not Les Mills, who am I? Yeah. The big question.
Yeah.
After giving 28 years to the cause, the tribe, and not knowing that anything else was better, like really believing that there was only this way, and on a deep cerebral, physical, cellular level, really believing that was everything and that was the best that there was.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a shock to realise over time that actually there's some really cool shit out there.
Yeah.
And I was, really grateful that my husband sent me off packing to the US, and I landed on Emma's doorstep. She keeps coming up, and because she's been really prominent in my journey and the change and the exciting things that have happened. And she also understands, what I was experiencing, that I was coming to her pretty raw.
Yeah.
Gung-ho, all guns blazing. I'm going to check out, what else is out there. America's the feeding frenzy for the latest innovations in fitness, and hook me up, Emma, So I managed to do about 5 or 6 different cycle classes and a ton of yoga classes and lots of different HIIT workouts. And what was awesome about that was coming away and going, wow, there's some really cool shit out there.
Yeah.
And we'd already set up Fire and had one club operating. And the other side of it was, actually, there's some really cool shit out there, and we're actually really good at it too.
Yeah.
And we're tucked away in Malaysia, doing a really fantastic job. And the next move is, this is the way I think cycle should be. This is the way I think, boxing should be. This is how we can frame it. This is how we can package it. And this is how I think people might buy into it. So that opportunity in the US was outstanding. Can't wait to get back.
Yeah.
And then so I came back and everything went guns blazing. We set up the next club, but I also took a real dive personally. I don't know whether it was I was really hanging on to the way things used to be, that I had to do so much physically at a time when I felt like I should probably be winding things up a little bit. I've done 28 years. Why am I still doing the hard yards? And physically, getting back into programming, physically executing the workouts again on like HIIT workouts, how was my body going to respond to that, and would I cope, and can I do it, and a lot of doubt. Working with people that are brand spanking new to the fitness industry, that really challenged me, frustrated me, to be honest. Not working with people that understood, all the things that have come before, and this is the way we do it here. And then having those regular conversations, I guess, was comfort zone stuff, but getting outside the comfort zone and trying to, get something really new and exciting going, but working with people that had no idea and trying to go, okay, we're going to go this way. And then they're throwing their ideas in and their ideas in. I'm like, no, we go this way. And then, I was really challenged by that and go, actually, I'm going to have to take a look at myself and how I do this and how I manage people and how I speak to people and how I motivate people. I mean, the way I used to do it, that worked because everyone's like, well, you're an expert at this thing, so you obviously know. But I didn't have that credibility with Fire.
Yeah.
I was Dave's wife, and nobody knew my background, and I was brand spanking new as well. So building up that trust and credibility amongst my new peer group was really tough for me. And that's when I engaged a coach, and I spoke to you about it as well, and it's been probably one of the best things I've ever done. There's a lot of I think shame is probably too strong a word, because I've gone through a lot personally where I identify things that you can see as shameful in your past that shaped you to be a better person. So I wouldn't say that I had shame about needing help, but I did question, my abilities, and if I'm getting help, am I going to be any good for the business? Because if I don't know everything, then is that any good? But it was a really amazing thing, and now I sort of consider my coach like she's my brain coach, and it's really fantastic that someone wants to sit with me and let me hash out the way things are going to move forward for the next 3, 4, 5 years with Fire, and how I'm going to get the most out of it. And on the side, other than working, in this business, which is my husband's dream and his ideas, and I just happen to know stuff and be able to help him execute it, what is it that I want to do? Other than that, I mean, I've got things that I actually want to do and achieve and go towards. And she's been amazing with that, and actually she keeps me really accountable to the things that I go, bleh. So when I come out with an idea, she goes, okay, tell me more about that. How do you see that working? How do you want to do that? I mean, the level and depth of questions and the success behind every session, I come away so excited about my personal future, and that I'm actually carving and designing a new life for myself is super, super exciting. Not without fear, and not without question, because that's still there, but I think those are good things. Now I get to go back to her and share the fears and ask the questions, and she helps me work through it. So, yeah, some really, really cool stuff about to happen. I don't even know if it's cool, but I think it's cool in my head.
It's cool. It'll be cool. If you're doing it, it'll rock. So, wow, what a journey, Trace. I definitely know that you've had such a massive work ethic, and I think that's one of your strengths that's been very inspiring, and that's evident in what you've achieved in this entire period. And I think one of the things that you said was not having any control over what happened, and however there was something there behind running that maybe you weren't aware of, which you brought out, saying what is next. What if there was something more? Perhaps like what we teach through NLP is actually everything that's occurred to us happens either at the unconscious or the conscious level, and it can happen together. So perhaps unconsciously you chose that and it was the right thing to happen at that right time to actually catapult you forward, and actually now take on new territory that perhaps you wouldn't have made the decision to do on your own. So sometimes when we don't make the decision for us, the decision's taken out of our hands, so to speak, and the decision's made for us by someone else, but actually we decided it.
That's true, and I don't want to give credit for anyone that caused me that level of pain, but I had thought of that. I definitely thought. I think I put the idea out there. Yeah. It swiftly happened. It wasn't on my terms. I think that was the problem. Yeah. Is usually, you put an idea out there, you get to simmer on it, you get to sort of write a few things down, you get to consult with someone that you trust, and then you make those leaps of faith to make it happen. But that wasn't the case for me. No. I've accepted that I have a certain amount of control freakiness. Yeah. But over time, I've also become so much more accepting that it's not always my way, and other people have great ideas, and all those things that you need to accept to move forward. I definitely put it out there. I'll take ownership for that. I wasn't super excited by the push.
How it went down.
But I can actually say, and I've done a lot of soul searching, a lot of hard work over the last 18 months, personally, and obviously with my coach. And I can say at this point, when, you know, you invited me to come and speak on Changemaker, I can honestly say hand on heart that I'm in a really cool space. Super excited about all the things that are about to happen. Optimistic for the future.
That's
and
awesome.
you know, we really just can't wait to get to Singapore and fire it up there. We know that they're going to love our classes, and yeah, I was like every day, come on, you know, we're literally ready to go. Here's the irony: we're held up by about a week. I don't know if I can actually say this on TV, but we're held up by a week because we couldn't get the fire permit for the fire station.
Oh yeah.
Here's the irony. But we're all good now. So back on track and excited to get going.
Yeah, good, yeah. Awesome. And some of the things that came up, you know, that you'd mentioned, these feelings of shame, or maybe a little bit less than that, embarrassment, maybe.
Embarrassment, yeah.
Yeah. You know, this is actually a huge thing, and many people out there experiencing this, very scared about what other people will say or other people will think, and then also, you know, you said you had self-doubt, doubt about your own capability, doubt, you know, doubts that are running, and I think that it's so, I acknowledge you for, you know, sharing that, because the thing is, sometimes we're looked upon as not being like everyone else, you know, but we're human, we're normal. we you know, we have these feelings that come up for us. And so I mean, was it working with the coach? Was it like, what was it that helped you to kind of work through those things?
Yeah, if I can think of maybe 2 or 3 things. The first one is watching other great people ahead of me go through the same thing before it happened to me.
Yeah.
People that I hugely admire, have a massive amount of time for, left me confused also why something would happen to them.
Yeah.
And watch them rebound and embrace the pain and embrace the fear. So watching that from a distance, I actually can learn from other people. I don't have to have bad shit happen to me. I actually can. I have that empathy level with other people that I admire and respect, and if stuff happens for them, I can, you know, I'm there for them. They're in my thoughts if they're at a distance, and I absorb their experience and think, wow, that, you know, if that happened to me, how would I react? What would I want people to? How would I want people to see me react?
Yeah.
And deal with the problem or the issue. And yeah, so that's always been there. The other thing is, I'd also done quite a lot of self-development prior to the fallout. I had, I think, you know, emotionally, you know, if something really bad happens to you, I mean, putting death on a different burner, you know, on the back burner, not talking about death, because I don't expect that anybody rebounds quickly from those experiences. So, but the loss of a job and the loss of security for your family, I probably had a good 24 hours at a super low point.
Yeah.
Massive fear, you know. But when I say 24 hours in perspective for life, it's actually a really, really short time before I started to feel hopeful.
Yeah.
The things that I feel hopeful for is, you just have to look at your kids. You just have to look at your husband. You just have to look at the people in your corner.
Yeah.
You know, I had girlfriends around at my house within a few hours of hearing the news that my life was about to change. They bought champagne. They bought food, they bought tissues. I mean, like, just having these people in my corner is always really hopeful for me. I go, well, if I've got, and these people are like beyond world-class friends, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm actually really grateful. I have a lot of people like that in my life, like quality, super gorgeous, amazing, mostly women, of course. Just in my corner and lifting me up and believing in me, and, you know, obviously saying all the right things, which I knew in my heart, you know, but having them verbalize it and be there and giving you the hugs and stuff. So, you know, it's just a short 24 hours of a little bit of pain. And then the light of, for me, it was Les Mills International that reached out to me and offered me, you know, other opportunities to keep going. And And I'm super grateful for that because it felt like things ended on a high, on a good note. I was able to contribute for a short 6 months into China, had the most amazing time. I went as fast and as hard as I could to do as much as I possibly could. And all I wanted to do was give them as much as I could in as short a time as I could, because I actually knew I wouldn't stay.
Yeah.
I knew it from the day that I started, and I was pretty upfront with that. So I think it was just, beautiful people around me, a belief that it was one bad day, that things would get better, and and just another opportunity to kind of leave your final mark, I guess, before moving forward and moving into, a lot of the unknown of fire, the programming, the people, the business, like doing everything basically.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So it looks like, the fact that you're able to bounce back in that short amount of time, which it really is, I think has a lot to say about the work that you'd probably done leading up to that. You said that you'd done some personal work, up to that. So again, it kind of comes back to just how important it is to really invest in yourself and work on yourself. Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I know personally that if I'm working way too hard on the stuff that needs to be done and on the business, and I don't take some steps away and just reevaluate how I feel about what's going on, and what am I learning, am I growing? If I don't do that, I turn into a crazy woman.
Yep.
So I know that I've got a period of time of 10 weeks. For me, 10 weeks I can go pretty intense. I'm like a sprinter, and there's a lot of research that supports that kind of work ethic, that go really hard for a short period of time and then back away.
Yeah.
And for me, backing away is the beach and the sea and my kids, and any combination of that is fantastic. And and I reset really quickly, and I reset back to what's important in my life. Am I really happy with what I'm doing? And one of the other things that I've sort of made a personal goal, my only personal goal actually, is to stop and feel the joy about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I probably haven't done that for years. It's just like, go, what's the next thing? Go, and it's off. Go, yeah, it was awesome. Wake up, yeah, go, again, next thing. And actually have been doing that for the last year. But this year I was like, you know what, I actually want to step away from each of those really fun, incredible moments, leaving our fans on a high and saying, when's the next time, and all that kind of stuff. Step away and go, that was cool, and how do I feel about that? And wow, and how fun was that? And really soak in the moment and the emotions behind it, because I just have been running 1,000 miles an hour, and I've been doing it with all my life, and not really soaking it up, just sitting back and enjoying the feeling of people being happy. Yeah, I actually get a lot of joy from watching others happy. So
yeah, that's great, Trace. And it comes back to as well a lot of awareness, like consciousness of what you need, and actually then being brave enough to take that time out, knowing, this is what I need to reset. Like, people don't do that. Yeah. Most people don't.
My husband's fully aware of it, because it's usually just me going away, girls trip, or I'm out of here, see ya, peeps, bye. And just that support, that he knows that, Trace is going to go off for a couple of days, and she's going to come back and watch out world, all guns blazing again. So I think for both of us, it's kind of that opportunity to decompress, because he knows when I get into that creative space, it's going to blow up, it's going to get crazy, and it's going to be a really fast ride. And that's kind of my default,
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful for him for supporting me, that I need that time, either to myself, with my friends, or just with me and the kids. And with him and I as well, we started to acknowledge that the two of us, actually more so for him, that we need to do that together, because I'm kind of into it anyway. Yeah. I want us to be together and take time out. So
yeah, definitely. Do every other, or on the 10th weekend you do something for you, and the weekend after do something together. Why not stretch it out?
Yeah. Oh, it's good like that.
Once a quarter, doing something together as a couple, because it's very easy, so I would say, especially working together, life together, working together, to lose that, connectedness of you and him together. So very, very important.
Yeah. And I'm always consciously aware that he's the CEO of the company, so I work for him, and he doesn't like, obviously, me saying that I work for him, but that's the reality, and he'll make the final decisions and stuff. But I think definitely over the last 6 months we've become more collaborative and respectful for each other's styles, and there's challenges to work together initially, because we have quite different styles around the way that we do things. But we've sat down and we really want this to work. I think most importantly that our marriage is incredibly strong. We've been married, it'll be 16 years, and
awesome.
And it's been really strong, but we've had tough moments, especially working together in Fire, where we've kind of questioned, actually, I don't actually like the way you do that.
Yeah.
But, if you do it that way and I do it that way, where can we meet middle ground to make sure that this is the best thing for everyone and the company and the fans and the products? And so it's been good. We're in a good space. Yeah.
Awesome. So Trace, I hear, there's creativity, and I see that you're very creative. You love developing things and creating things. How do you tap into that creativity?
It's going to sound really kind of basic to say that. For me, music and dance and concerts and the opportunity to be in front of other creative people and other creative experiences actually really, it kind of sets something off in my brain, and then I might wake up one day and I've got this idea, and sometimes I can't verbalize the idea. It's more like a gut heart thing. I'm feeling like we should do this. Or I feel that the fans would be really receptive to this idea, and I think we should try this. And what's been awesome is that, obviously working with Dave, he knows that about me. He knows that, to be really happy and to be really joyful about my work, that creativity aspect needs to be listened to. Whether it's going to happen or not, it's okay just to listen to it. But most often, if I'm really clear on a vision or something that I think is going to work really well for our business, I will be quite strong about how I verbalize it, and he'll listen and ask lots of questions, and then we usually run for it. For example, we've recently had what we call fire escapes, which is our fitcations. We had our very first one, like a testing ground to see, what people would think, and that was awesome, and it's something that I'd like to run with in the future. So I'm working on that. And this week we released our own activewear line, and it's flying off the shelves. I can't believe it. So
I know, it looks amazing. and the vacation looked amazing as well. It was like, I wanted to be there.
That's already creative stuff. I mean, if I had stuck where I was, I don't know that I would have got to do that. So while it's on a small scale, it's ours, and we own the opportunity to help people have a really great time on vacation, or we own that opportunity for people to put on our threads and love it, love working out in it. So that it's not about the size of it, it's about just how it makes people feel. The impact it has on their lives, and just seeing their reaction, and it's been super fun. And obviously I'm working with my best friend Tanya, and it's been a hoot, and she's an incredibly creative woman as well. So that we sometimes the ideas go way way out there, we manage to pull it back, and I think that's what creativity is all about.
For sure.
So
So it sounds like the inspiration for the creativity, it comes from really the people, the people that are in front of you. Obviously, in your case, working at Firestation, there's, the members, giving them a really incredible experience, because I know that's a big value for you guys as a company, is really creating that value and very customer driven.
Our main discussion point at every operations meeting, 80% of our conversation is on the trainers. experience.
Well, that's great. Taking care of your people, eh? Love it.
So we occasionally talk about the metrics, but now we just send the metrics out and you have a look, and if you've got questions, you'll bring it up. But I've been in meetings before, obviously fitness at the executive level, where it's mostly about the metrics, very little about the people that are on the ground executing the product for you, you know. We spend 80% talking about how do we make our rock stars better. And everyone contributes.
Yeah,
so
beautiful.
What else do they need? What other kind of training do they need? What feedback mechanisms do they need? You know, how are the fans viewing it? And we really do reach out there and ask our fans, you've had an experience with this rock star today, feel free to tell us about it. And and then sit down with the rock stars and just keep chipping away at making them love what they do. If they love what they do, it comes through. You know, we can give them all the skills, the technical stuff, but probably the biggest thing that I've learnt, my shift across to Fire, is you can teach people technique.
Yeah, totally.
And you can teach them what to say. You can teach them all of that, but you can't teach them love and passion and people skills. No. I mean, I actually think that stuff is... it's, you know, just it's in them. So if you fill their heads too much with technique and coaching, they're going to kind of forget their natural thing that they do really well.
Yeah.
So I withhold lots and lots of feedback around that stuff, because if I look at a class and it's going off, you know, like...
Yeah, if their members are having fun and they're...
freaking nightclub, the music's dope, the rock star is like looking like they're in the zone, and maybe they forgot to tell you how to squat properly. I don't give a shit. You know, it's like, look at this. If I'm sitting on the sidelines and I'm feeling like I want to get in there, that is what I'm talking about.
Totally.
And I feel I got a bit lost actually with that stuff, because I had this big kind of ticking boxes thing going on.
Got the checklist.
You should have said this then, and don't forget to mention that. And it's like, oh my God, what happened to the experience and the love, you know?
Totally.
So I'm super happy that I've kind of done full circle. I was that instructor at the beginning. I was the one who didn't know what they were talking about, but absolutely loved what they were doing. And then I got put through and learnt a lot of stuff, but actually I came full circle and realised it's actually still about the experience. It's still about the love. It's still about how much you want to watch people in front of you having a great time. And I do think that the skill base never leaves you. You know, I'm super grateful for that, because it gives me the opportunity to coach others.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm actually more mindful of what they need to know when, and I withhold a lot, because I kind of think, how relevant is this going to be today?
Yeah, how important is this right now? Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to switch off their light. I'm not going to switch off their light.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Yeah, love it. Love that. So obviously you're very driven, and where does that motivation and drive come from, Trace? Within you somewhere, but what is it that drives you and motivates you to just work like a machine as you do, like 10 weeks, you go all out?
I definitely think, I mean, it's probably been said before, but it's definitely a passion for it.
Yeah.
You know, and also knowing how blessed I am and how lucky I am to be doing something I truly believe in.
Yeah.
I have other hobbies and ideas and things that I'd like to pursue in my future. But right now, I have the skills and the physical wellness to be able to do this thing that I'm passionate about, which is fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you just one other thing that I've sort of been exploring lately is the ageism around fitness.
Yeah.
Lots of little conversations going on the sidelines.
That's all right. Perfect. Love it.
Occasionally hook into, which is why is it that some of the smartest, most experienced people, in particular, more so women, I guess, because it's just the way it is. Why is it that they eventually get marginalised or sidelined because they don't look like that poster anymore?
No.
And yet, wow, the things that you can share with people, and obviously you share willingly. You have no agenda. You want these young whippersnappers who are starting their own personal journey in fitness to learn quicker than you might have, to experience the love that you've got out of that, coaching other people to get fitter. You want to give everything you can to them without wanting anything back. And yet, you kind of get a bit sidelined and those opportunities get taken away, as you and I have discussed before. So I think probably, obviously, being able to do work in fire and do my own thing, I now get to be the curator behind that opportunity. I do get to help people, and I'm not marginalised for it. It's I still am a realist around it though. Like, I am turning 47 next week.
Amazing.
But I've still got some stuff to give,
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
A ton load to give.
Yeah.
All right,
it's
good.
just an interesting conversation, and I kind of think there's an opportunity out there for someone, whether it's myself or whether it's a group of other people, like-minded people that feel similar, that go, you know what, I can still freaking smash a hit workout, and I can still motivate other women to reach their fitness goals. And sure, I don't look like the poster, but maybe there's still that opportunity to reach out to people and just keep it real, tell it like it is. What happens to your body as you age?
Yeah.
Can you do, to keep yourself feeling great? So watch this space.
Totally. I think it's a really important conversation, because then the whole perception of what health and fitness is as well becomes all muddled. It's not just about the way you look.
Yeah, the body beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's see what we can explore. Another little idea thrown into the mix there. All right. So I think you've spoken a little bit about your challenges. Would as a change maker, what, unless you've already said it already, what's been your biggest challenge?
Accepting change at a time that I wasn't prepared, obviously.
Yeah.
Changing myself and my style and the way that I operate.
Yeah.
I have default trays that I go to as a manager.
Yeah.
And realizing that that's not going to work in a different situation. I have to make some fundamental changes to my style.
Yeah.
And so that soul searching and personal development and the time that I've done with my coach has really made that aware. I'm aware.
Yeah.
And it's still a process that I'm working on. So the change is still happening. I don't think that the change is finished. I think
it's an ongoing process, isn't it?
Yeah. And these little things, like having these conversations with you and hearing, the other change makers interviews, it's very, very reassuring to realize that, people that on the outside look like they've got it all together are still evaluating and working on themselves at a really deep level to be the very best that they can.
Yeah, totally.
So, I'm still here. I'm still working on it.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of one of the things that you brought up earlier about just being able to kind of get over yourself and get help, talk to someone else. It's like we're not above anyone, and like we get coaches all the time for our body, for business, whatever it might be. But when we think, like I need help mentally, it's a problem, But actually, the mind drives everything that we do or everything that we don't do, and it's probably the most important muscle and part of us as human beings to train. But a lot of us don't.
Yeah.
And the best thing is, you got over yourself and you took action, and you've made massive change because of that. And it sounds like it's one of the best things that you've done to really help you move forward towards what it is you want to create and the possibilities.
Yeah. Definitely. So, yeah.
Good.
I agree.
Thumbs up. All right, good. Okay, so one last question. What I mean, you gave some really great little tips all the way through this, but what advice would you have for others out there that are really wanting to make change, or they want something more in their life, but they don't know what to do or how to go about it.
Yeah, I mean, what I know now, it's like, if I could tell people to reach out to a coach, to reach out to a professional who can help them just work through the thoughts that are going on in their mind, to just work through and order it in a way that you can see a plan in front of you. And if that's the plan that you want, then they can help you also identify the next steps.
Yeah.
I never had that person for me. I kind of always thought I could do it for myself.
Yeah.
But the questions and the challenges that my coach posed to me were much, much harder than the things I would have done for myself.
Yeah.
So that's probably, if I could give that advice, I would say, don't think that you're above it.
Yeah.
To ask for help. If you need help, whether it be emotionally, physically, like you said, emotionally, physically, or mentally, there are people out there with the skills, and I'm just so grateful. I kind of think I wish I'd done it earlier, but everything comes at the right time.
Yeah.
And I'm still seeing her on a regular basis, because I feel like, how could I not? Every time I see her, I get so excited. And I do fulfill the goals that I set out to do. So I feel like my life is actually moving forward with perspective and with meaning and with joy.
That's incredible, and that's what you want, and that's how it should be, really. I mean, who wants to live stuck in the past? Letting fear keep them stuck, not taking action. A lot of people do it, but it doesn't have to be that way.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I was going to say something else, and I've kind of lost it. But I think one of the other things that you'd mentioned too is just kind of embracing it. You'd said that kind of way back earlier, embracing the stuff that you're going through, embracing, kind of getting messy. There's a time when you start working with a coach, it gets really messy, and it's like, it hurts and it's hard. But once you break through that barrier, then now you kind of get to the place where you're at now, where it's like really goal-oriented and having that accountability, because you can let yourself off the hook any day of the week. We do it every day, right? I'm going to go work out today, and then I don't, Yeah,
I know that, like I'm going to see her next week, and the first thing she's going to ask me is from last time that we discussed.
Exactly. How did you go with that? Have you completed that?
But also the lack of judgment is also really great.
Yeah. You can say what you want. You can dump things out.
Yeah, and I'm, you can be super honest. You actually have to be honest, because you don't approach someone knowing that you're looking for answers without being honest, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's been awesome as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's been incredible. Good, definitely. One of the best 6 months I've had.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Trace. We've loved having you on ChangeMaker TV, and it's, of course, an absolute honour and a privilege to have you on here. I really appreciate you carving out this time into your massive, busy, hectic schedule. And, it's lovely to catch up with you and hear your story and be able to share that with everyone out there.
Yeah, thanks, Judy. It was absolutely awesome and very cathartic. I'll look forward to seeing the next interview that you've told me about. So
yes, Dan Walsh-Schmidt. By the time yours is out, people would have seen it. But if you're watching this and you haven't watched Dan Walsh-Schmidt, you'll want to go and jump on there.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Trace.